Hey guys, welcome back to another one of my videos. Today, I'm going to be doing a video on why indie films are awesome. I have a new background, because I saw some of your guys' old comments saying, oh, you should change your background, make it more interesting. So, like for Christmas, I got these awesome looking posters. So I hope you guys like my new background. It's really cool. I think it's really cool and listed in the comment section below. So yes. Let's talk about why indie films are awesome. But before we do, be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Like the video, comment down below what's your favorite indie film, or what's your favorite small time creator, and ring the bell for notifications to know when I post a video so you never ever miss a video. So yes, let's begin. So yes, since movies ever began, small time creators, had like the smallest amount of budget to make their ideas come to the big screen. Is it like Tarantino or Scorsese, or just these brilliant film directors used a minimal budget to kind of start their film career. Like, they don't need to be the greatest movies, they just need to show the audience what the director is capable of. And it doesn't even need to show what the director is capable of. It just needs to show that they can tell a good story, they are good with the camera, and that they are worth like seeing their work further on. And so indie films can start like big creators' ideas. Just look at Quentin Tarantino with his first film, Reservoir Dogs. It was made on a $1.2 million budget, and it got $3 million worldwide. Now let's look at a film that had a even smaller budget. One of my favorite films, Down by Law. It was directed by Jim Jarmusch. Hopefully I said his name correctly, and it was made of $400,000. And it got $1.4 million back in the box office. So it was a success, and also like it's shot on a very small budget, and it was a big success. And it is one of my favorite movies because just how little they used to make something so awesome. And the film was really good. I gave it a perfect score. I did a review on it like a couple months ago, I think last year. So be sure to check it out. It's a really good film, and them using a small budget just made it more better, just because it felt more raw and more kind of better. And so what I'm saying is that the first reason that indie films are awesome is that it starts creators like their journey of like filmmaking. It's like their first milestone, and then like that milestone is their first film, and then after that, which each film they get better and better, and then that's their milestone into their film career. And for me, that's how indie films are very important. Another reason that I think everyone can agree on is that indie films are super creative. Like, have you ever seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show? That was like the most creative film I've ever seen. And it was made on a $1.7 million budget. It's not the cheapest thing, but like on the standards of movies nowadays that cost millions of dollars to make, this movie was a indie cult film that has many fans, and for a good reason, because it's so creative. And even though if an indie movie is not good, technically it is very creative, or at least sparks some very interesting ideas. A case where a indie film was good and also very creative was a movie that I did a review not too long ago called Diva. It is an art house candy color crime film, and I really like it because it was shot on a $1.7 million budget, same as Rocky Horror Picture Show, and the scenery is beautiful, the action is great, and the story is fabulous. And most of these art house films start as indie movies and then progress as they get a better budget, making so the creator can introduce their ideas even better and even more fantastic in every single way. And I feel that indie movies are so creative. I mean, like, here's a saying: you give a man $100 million, whatever, is a lot of money, they give you a stone. You give a man a small budget but a brilliant and beautiful idea, they'll give you diamonds. That is my saying. That if you just give like a guy millions of dollars and that person does not have a creative idea in their head, they just think about money, they just think about making the dumbest thing, then their film disappears. They make money, yes, and they disappear, just like the Star Wars movies. And and if you like give like a small budget to a very creative person like Jim Jarmusch, or like the director of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, they give you a diamond. They give you something that you look forward to, you rewatch, you enjoy, and you just love it. And and that's why I think that indie films are awesome. Another reason that I think so is a reason that many people may or may not agree is that, like in a film, like if you were to cast like a very popular star into like an action movie, most likely they're going to survive because the main audience will get very disappointed if they die, and then, the film's not going to last. But if you hire a actor that nobody knows and put them in like a high stakes movie, then it's more unpredictable because you have an actor that you could basically do whatever you want. The actor's not, oh no, I'm rich and I can do whatever I want, oh I'm going to change the script. No, the actor is like totally under control over the director. The director's like, okay, this is going to happen to your character, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen in this particular fashion, and which makes the film more tense, more better, and more suspenseful. And that's just another reason why indie films are so great. And another thing that I think all of you guys can agree is that indie films are more stylish. Like, if you ever see Good Time, it's extremely stylish. As Robert Pattinson, he was a well-known guy for the Twilight series, but then, like, later on he became a good actor. And the film was made on a $2 million budget and got $4 million. So it didn't bomb, it didn't make any, but it got back his money. But the film is extremely stylish, and since it was shot on a very low budget, it just increases the kind of, like, what's the word, impressiveness of the film. Because think about it, you have $2 million, and you have a good story, you have a decent cast, and you have, like, a camera and whatever, all the film techniques that you have. And then you, on top of it, have a beautiful looking movie, a great script, great acting, and then after all of that you end up with a fantastic film. And that's why indie films, like, I don't know, this is why indie films, I believe, are better. I mean, think of it, like, all the movies, like, some of the movies that I own, I love them. I mean, for instance, Taxi Driver was, I think it's Martin Scorsese's best movie. Some people says is The Departed, or Wolf of Wall Street, or even Goodfellas. For me, it's Taxi Driver, because Taxi Driver, I think, is the most talked about film that he has. Because with Goodfellas, he had $20 million to make, whatever, he had all these actors. But with Taxi Driver, he had a $1.3 million movie, and the movie, since it has such a low budget, is more contained. It's not like, oh, pistol, 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 no. It's kind of like a slow burn, and that uses the advantage of a small budget to create a fantastic and enjoyable story, leading up to a fantastic conclusion that probably took up most of the actual budget. But since that was kind of the beauty of it being an indie film, it totally worked. And I'm just kind of looking at my movie collection over here, and I know it's like movies like Run Lola Run, Run Lola Run. Sorry, it's kind of hard for me to say. That are shot on a very small budget, and I'm not sure if you guys heard this movie before, but the Baghdad Cafe was made on like a, I believe, $900,000 budget, and it takes place in all in one location, but they use like different like areas of that location to make the film more kind of open and more interesting. And that's another technique that directors use. They get like a big place, like in a Rocky Horror Picture Show, they got this huge cast. The film cost only $1.7 million to make. They got this huge castle, they created all these different rooms, and then each scene is like a different room. So in the end, you have this one place, but it takes place in different places inside that one place. So the film feels more open and less kind of like squished together. And like let me think of another one, like the classic kind of horror movies or the detective movies with Humphrey Bogart. They were shot on like a $300,000 budget, and some of these films have survived to decades and have inspired like future directors. I mean, like for an example, like Breathless was shot on a very low budget, but it became one of the greatest movies of all time. Another film that I believe was shot on a low budget was A Fish Called Wanda. That's such a great film. It's a great cult film. It's a great comedy. Very well acted. If you have never seen it, be sure to check it out. And like so many other films, like shot on a low budget. I mean, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly was shot on a $1 million budget and made back 25 times its budget. So I'm just saying that some of these films don't need a big budget to create a fantastic film. They just need to completely use the total advantage of their surroundings, their ideas, and the way they are presented to create a fantastic film. And before I end this video, I want to leave on a note that if you are a small-time creator and you really have a passion for film, it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter if you have a lot of people to work with you. If you want to create an idea, okay? If you want to create an idea, just do it, okay? I mean, there's many steps on like I can say, oh, you need to do this to become a film director. But if you truly like film and you're just a kid who loves film, just like me, just begin creating. You don't need to particularly shoot a film. I mean, right now I'm writing my own script. I'm like 1/3 already finished. And like I may not direct when I'm older, but I'm sure gonna write. Because I have all these ideas in my head that I really want to get out into the public. And so you don't need to technically be behind the camera. You just need to have a good idea, and if you have people to help you to make a film, then make a film. It doesn't need to have the biggest budget. Maybe just spend $5 or $10 to $20 or $50 at the most, and create something that many people will enjoy. And in the end of the day, you're going to come out as a great director, screenwriter, producer, or whatever, or a creator with some of the beautiful ideas of this world. So thank you guys for watching. Peace out.